So what do you do when a client dodges your question or avoids actually answering the question? This is so typical, isn't it? We ask our clients a question and then they go off on some tangent, some conscious fluff tangent, to potentially avoid answering the challenging and difficult question. Now, this is normal. We all do this. We do this for ourselves. Anything that we perceive as uncomfortable, we tend to shy away from. That's just human nature, right? And so once we are in our sessions with our clients and we're asking them a question, and then they go off on a tangent and they're not really answering your question. And this is really common, especially in conversational hypnosis trainings, when there would be a demo client and you can tell that they're completely dodging the question. What do you actually do? And so there are many different ways that we can approach this. And the easiest way that we can do right now or right then and there is to ask the question again. That's it. Just ask the question again. And sometimes through asking that question again, it's really going to allow the client to think about the answer to that question. And it might seem like if are the ones that are asking the question, it might seem very redundant or like, what's the point? I already asked the question. But for the client at the receiving point, especially if they have unconsciously avoided it or consciously avoided it, hearing the question again helps them to tune in to the question and it puts pressure on them, which is actually what we want to really answer that question. So, for example, I'm just going to give an example and say a client comes to us because they want to feel more confident, they want to prioritize themselves more and prioritize their needs more. And we're asking them, okay, so what is stopping you from putting yourself first? And then they go on this tangent of how they don't have time, they have all the kids, they have all of these commitments, blah, 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 which are valid in what they're experiencing in real life, but they're not really, they're missing the actual intent of that question, right? Which is what is stopping you from putting yourself first? If you think of the semantics of that question, what is stopping you? We're not asking why, right? And this is very common as well. Inside the ACH trainings, we really teach our students to pay attention to the responses that our clients are giving us, because most clients are going to answer a what question with a why rational question. And so if we ask a question of what's stopping you from putting yourself first, and they say, well, it's because of my kids, like that because is an answer to a why question. We asked what is stopping you. And so sometimes it could just be like, they go off that tangent of, it's this, all my commitments. You ask the question again, but with more intent and slowly. No, what is stopping you from putting yourself first? And pause. And just that intentionality in our voice is going to, first off, that's hypnotic in and of itself, right? And at the same time, that because it's so hypnotic and so intentional, it really helps our clients to pay attention to the question, which means they can go more internal with answering that question. So that is definitely one way. And I'm going to end it at that because I want you to try this. Try this intentionality. Try asking the same question. What you don't want to do though, before I end this video, what you don't want to do though is like overly rationalize the question, or like overly explain your question. Just ask the same question again. And this is, again, very common. So I'll tell my students to be like, ask the question again. And they'll be like, you know what I mean? What is stopping you instead of putting yourself first? What is stopping you from putting yourself first instead of putting your kids first? Like they overly like prolong the question. And I always say, no, just pause, ask the exact same question again. So do that, ask the question twice, even if it's the exact same wording. Trust me, it will work because it usually does and always does. It really helps our clients to pay attention. But the second time you do ask the question, ask with more intentionality and more authority in your voice and more curiosity as well, right? Be more curious because our clients avoided the question for a reason, and there's a reason for that, right? There's something there with their avoiding. So this is really how we get breakthroughs to be faster, by being more intentional. So again, try this out. Let me know how that goes. If you have any questions, let me know. I will see you soon.